Hello, everybody. Welcome back to How Was the Race? This is Nigo, and I'm here to welcome you with Yvonne. She's a friend of mine. We've ran several races together. We've ran Seven Bridges together in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Hartford Marathon. She ran the full, I ran a half that year. Derby Marathon in Louisville, Kentucky, Monumental in Indianapolis, Indiana, and then the Chicago Marathon we've ran together as well. Yvonne is a veteran in the marathons with 60 marathons underneath her belt. And today we're going to talk on the Derby Marathon in Louisville, Kentucky. The beer for today that we're going to be featuring and enjoying is going to be the Beer Buzz Buzz 70K from Against the Grain. It's part of their Sam and Jerry's collection. The Sam and Jerry's collection is an ice cream inspired collection. This particular beer is a 10.2 ABV. Yes, 10.2 ABV. The IBUs are not listed. With my tongue, I'd have to put it somewhere around the 30 to 40 range. It is a imperial stout with ice cream flavors, with chocolate fudge and espresso coffee. So we're going to go ahead and enjoy that, and we're going to talk about the. Oh, before we continue, I will say that Against the Grain is located near the start and finish line of the Derby Marathon. So whenever you travel down to Louisville to run Derby, you're going to be right there beside the brewery already. So go ahead and knock that bad boy out while you're there. So moving on, Yvonne, how did you first learn about the Derby Marathon?
You know what? I'm trying to remember how I first learned about it. I want to say somebody had somehow somebody told me that they needed pacers, and I'm trying to remember who recruited me. And so I emailed Dallas and I said, "Oh, all right. Hey, I heard you're looking for pacers. You know, I'll come down and pace if you like." And it was cool because then we met and then we met a few of the other pacers, Jill and Dan, and we had that crew coming every year now.
Yes, Jill and Dan, they were part of the Eugene Marathon podcast that was released a few weeks back as of this recording. For those that are interested in pacing, some races are paced in-house, and they find they have their own coordinator and such, and some races are paced by outside companies such as on race pace. Uh, on race pace, they were featured in the earlier episode when we talked about the Milwaukee Marathon, I believe it was. So, but if you're interested in pacing, just reach out and ask. So, anyhow, just a little sidebar. There's plenty of those, by the way. If you don't like it, I don't know. So you reached out to Dallas and you all communicated and you got in for pacing. Um, how would you do you recall the registration process, or was it so normal that it doesn't remarkable?
I remember everything was super smooth, no issues online, and and that's one of the perks of being a pacer. They give you a code, so boom, no issues.
Yes. Between the registration date and the date of the race, were you inundated with a lot of emails about the race? Was there too much communication, none communication, just the right amount?
I felt like it was just the right amount because, they would send reminders every now and again, kind of saying, "Hey, you got a race coming up. Hope you're training." And it's like, "Oh, I do have a race coming up." It's kinda like, "Oh, damn, okay."
Yeah, it's I just recently got the email that registration for this race actually just opened within the last month. And it was like I'm like, oh, yep, here goes, which is odd because I'm already training for two other marathons and possibly a third between now and then. And it's like, oh yeah, I have another marathon to train for.
Wait, what 3 are you training for? Hold on, back up.
Currently I'm training for no, not Hartford, Charlotte Marathon, November 15th, Charlotte, North Carolina, and then Rocket City Marathon in Huntsville, Alabama. That's, I believe, December 12th. That particular race, The Mary
Nice.
sisters are going to be there, and
Nice.
I can't wait to see them. They're a real hoot. Uh, I love those ladies.
I gotta meet them because I hear so much about them.
Yes, Monica and Melissa. They'll be on the podcast for Rocket City, and hopefully I get to have them on the podcast prior to then. And then I'm looking at a December. I'm looking to go down to, not for the full yet, because for Texas, but the Houston Chevron Marathon and the Amoco Half Marathon. I'm considering that race would.
Ah, you'll already be trained.
Yeah, why not? Just go ahead and
Come
bump it up. It's
on.
it's extra 13.1. I mean, and
You're already trained.
it's only an extra $20 probably. Probably the half and full is $20-$30 difference.
That's what I'm saying. You might as well get your money's worth.
All right. Back to Derby.
I'm sorry. Sidebar, too much sidebar.
Oh, it's kind of hard with people that I'm more friends with because we have so much other conversation to have while having this conversation. So,
Okay, so you tell me if if it's too much sidebar.
oh, I think I need to
You
tell
do-
myself, heck.
Oh, all right, because I don't want to derail.
Okay, so the expo for so getting to the race, I know you in particular, you fly in. Um, how is it getting from the airport? Because this race does have an official host hotel, which is located downtown, about 3/4, maybe a half mile from the start finish line. How is it getting from the airport to downtown?
That was no problem. I want to say one year I might have taken the bus too, but I think I think, well, did I do the bus one? I don't. I think usually I'll do the Lyft or Uber, and it was no problem, maybe 15 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah, so
that's
no big deal.
that's not bad at all. And then, okay, once you get to the hotel, um, how's it how's it getting from the hotel to the expo? Or yes, this one is a little bit different because her and I have been there together, and I know that I know this race. I've ran this race several times, probably 8 times, I believe it is, and sometimes I've given Yvonne a ride to the expo, or Jill, just depending on the year, or depending on where the expo is, because the expo does move, but it's back at the expo center. So the expo center is further from downtown. The convention center is about 3 blocks away. Were you there when it was at the convention center?
Yes, which I mean, for me, I appreciated that because I could just walk because I didn't have a car. And then I think when they moved it, I took the bus down to the convention center, but the bus doesn't go all the way down, so I had to walk a little bit.
Ooh,
So, yeah, I had to walk kind of, I was like, oh, but I kind of wanted to take the bus just to explore the city a little bit.
okay.
But but then the part where I'm walking to get to the convention center, it was like, oh, I'm kind of walking on a highway.
Yeah. I think yeah, you're walking on a highway there. I know some years pre-COVID, yes, pre-COVID, they had shuttles. They had school buses that would shuttle you from
Oh,
the official race hotel and one other location that was downtownish to the expo. But I don't recall post-COVID if that has still if they've brought that back or not.
I don't think so. I haven't seen any of that.
Okay. Getting to the venue, in your opinion, because you ran larger races such as Chicago, and you ran smaller races such as Seven Bridges. Well, how would you rate their expo? Is it large, small? How the vendor selection?
I would say it's on the smaller side. They had a decent amount of vendors. I mean, I think swags they had, and they had some cool Derby Brook shirts that I actually picked one up. And there was another sports store too, I think, besides Swags.
Okay.
Can't remember.
And Swags, they're the local they're a local running store, is it not?
I want to say they might be the sponsor.
They might. If not, we'll go ahead and give them a lot of credit.
All right. Listen, because they, and actually, I want to say they hosted the training run and they let us try some of the
Yes.
shoes. Yeah, so yeah, let's throw him a shout out.
Okay, yeah. We love swags. We love local. We love the local guys. We love the locals here. I mean, no hate to Fleet Feet. Fleet Feet does serve a purpose, and by all means, support them as well. Don't. We're not boycotting them by any means. We're just saying if you got a local guy nearby, maybe swing by them.
Exactly. You got to support the local dudes.
When did they offer a same day packet pickup for the Derby Marathon?
I don't think they do. I'm almost positive no.
I don't think they do either. But it's easy to navigate the expo area. Um, they have the t-shirt pickups when you pick up your back packet. I think to, some years it changes. They give you your shirt right away. Other years they tell you to go down to another section. Um, that's all fairly smooth.
Yeah, that's no issue.
Yeah. Race day morning. Race day morning. The years you have done it several years, but you've always walked from the hotel.
Yeah.
Normally, I this is where I would ask, how is the parking? Is it sufficient parking? How's traffic? In my experience, I will say that the traffic is a little bit a little bit hectic because you come off the Second Street Bridge. If you're coming from Indiana, because a lot of people live or travel from or stay in Indiana side, the Second Street Bridge is not a toll bridge. So a lot of people come across the Second Street Bridge, but if you come across, you immediately have to make a right, which takes you away from the start finish line. And then there's very few surface lots nearby. There are a few, but not a lot. And street parking is not as available because the race is happening. So the street parking is less. So if you're not staying downtown and walking, you will experience uh, more traffic at this particular race. That's unfortunately I have to cut you. Normally I would ask you that and you would answer. However, I know that you've stayed at the hotel and you just walk over, and that's a lot
Which,
easier.
oh yeah, but so I gotta add this sidebar because the funniest thing, and I don't know if you're gonna ask, is how'd we get back from the finish line to the hotel? You want to answer that one? Because that was the best. That was
No,
the best.
I'm gonna let you have the mic.
I'm just gonna say that runners are the friendliest people in the world and the craziest because we were walking back from the finish line, and I wanna say there was 3 pacers. Was it me, you, and Brandon maybe?
Yes, Brandon was because me and Brandon paced together that year, and you hung out for 2 or 3 spots for us to finish. Yes, so be you and
Okay.
Brandon.
So we were all hobbling back, and I mean, the finish line to the hotel, it's not far, but it seems it after you ran a marathon.
Mm.
And here comes, we're kinda hobbling back, and Miguel says, "I'm gonna ask these people for a ride." And we're like, "What?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And hey, next thing we were having a chat and we got a ride, but they were the friendliest people. They just ran the race. So I feel like that's the cool thing about runners, that there's such a fun, quirky community.
We really are, and most pacers are very extroverted anyway. So I was like, I mean,
See,
what's the worst this guy's going to say? No, come on.
I think you're the most extroverted pacer ever. I think you should have a podcast about pacers. No, honestly, I feel like you're the most extroverted, which is really good for motivation.
Well, I've had you, Jill, Ruth, Janelle, and Keter on, and all of us are pacers. So this has largely been and then Aaron Stevenson, and yeah, it's largely been a podcast, a pacer podcast.
Hey, we're holding it down.
Yes. Um. So okay, so you're going in, you get to the race. The race starts out. We meet up outside of the along the street there. We meet up on Main Street. Take us first through the first few miles because when you've ran it several years, and I will say I ran it when I've ran it in 4 different configurations.
Ooh,
S So I have 4 d I know the current map is different possibly from the map you ran. So, but I know the beginning is the same. The first, at least the first 9 miles are the same. After that, it's different. I
yes.
think. I
Well,
think.
yes, because last year was the first year that I ran it that they switched it and it goes through Iroquois Park,
Yes.
and it's I mean, it's beautiful, but it was a little hillier. So if you're not, but people had warned me, so I think I kind of, mentally was prepared. But
Okay.
it's definitely a lot prettier than the other course that kind of just went out on that bike path and then flipped back.
Yes. Okay. Well, so the first 8 miles, and that's from the start line to before Churchill. What is that like?
All right, now I gotta jog my memory, but that I remember I liked it because you're going downtown and then you're flipping to the neighborhoods and then you go by that, where all the museums are, and then you go to that other side where they have I think it's not as touristy, but it's still a cool section and there's tons of people giving out water. So I like that they give you it's like a good little tour before you hit Churchill Downs.
Okay. Now, once you hit, okay, because you do start out, yeah, you start out and then you go through downtown, you hit the West End. You start to hit the West End, then you go through, there's a couple of high schools, and you hit the Central Park, which is a nice little neighborhood, quiet neighborhood, and then you hit the University of Louisville. You're on the western edge, I believe it is, of University of Louisville, and then you hit Churchill Downs. Take us through Churchill Downs. Yeah.
Oh, I think Churchill Downs, it's a cool experience. Because honestly, I mean, I think a lot of people have never been there. I mean, I wouldn't have gone there if it weren't for the marathon. It's kind of like being part of history, but you get to run through, and sometimes you'll see the jockeys racing the horses, and I still don't know how I feel about horses and the animals, but they're beautiful creatures, and it's when you see them running, it's like, oh, I'm standing still, you know.
Yes. Those guys are, well, there's male and female. Those horses are just, yeah, they are gone. They are fast.
Yeah, but even the jockeys too, man, they're so small and they're like 100 pounds. No, seriously, I'm like, damn, they need to be running.
They are, oh gosh, there's if you ever get to meet one in person, they're very, very short in stature, and yeah, they're usually like 105, 100 pounds, 117, very small.
No, I'm like, that's insane. That's like the size of a child.
So, okay, now one thing I do want to point out with Churchill Downs is that up to this point, you've only been able to use porta potties. However, once you get to Churchill Downs, immediately once you enter, there are bathrooms, but then if you get about a quarter mile in, there's another set of bathrooms, full flush bathrooms. So
Yes,
I don't want to
that
not highlight that.
that is exciting for runners, but for pacers, you gotta time it though, It's like, oh,
Yes, yes. And so, okay, so as you exit for the half, as you exit Churchill Downs, half goes left, full goes right, and you make the right hand turn, and you go out to Iroquois Park. Going out to Iroquois Park, what is that? What do you most recall about that road that takes you out to Iroquois Park, and then you enter Iroquois Park?
oh, you know what? I do remember that road, it's really wide, and I wanna say it's a lot more shaded than the other course, which I really like. And there's a really beautiful part of Louisville, and I can't remember what it's called. It's like it's got the courtyard. It's a few miles from downtown. It's historic. It's got beautiful historic homes. They
St.
usually
James.
Yes.
St.
I
James.
yes, I love that area. It's so beautiful, and they always have jello shots there. I don't know why, but and I think people had beer shots out by St. James too.
Okay. So you go through Iroquois Park, or you're going into Iroquois Park. You've had your Jello shots.
Y y
The road going into the I think that's Southwest Parkway. If you don't live there, I'm naming off all these streets, and a lot of people are like, I don't know what this is.
I
But
don't know the street names. I'm like, I just remember the turns and, like, where the stops are.
so as you're going along, oh, Southwest Parkway. Anyway, as you're going down, I will note, this little tidbit: the course is measured in such a way that that road, it's a windy road, it's a boulevard. When you're making the left-hand turns, don't run on the far right curb line, because if you run on the far right curb line, you're extending your race.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
I want you to get bonus miles.
I'm like, "Really? That doesn't help me now."
I mean, you make the right hand turn, stick to the right hand curve, but also with that road, there's so much shade to be had. So sometimes you have to look for the shade, and that's a key factor as well. I feel. But okay, so we enter Iroquois Park. Iroquois Park, it's one of the city park, the largest. There's like five large parks that are like, I would say about 100 acres or so, and Iroquois is about the same way. It's Iroquois Park covers you're in a 5K from the just before entry to just around your exit. It's a 5K in Iroquois. Um, but what else is significant about Iroquois? Do you?
I remember it's shaded, and I just remember the twists and turns and the hills,
Yes.
and I mean, I liked it, but once we got out, I was like, "Alright, I'm good. I'm good, I'm back to the open wide road." I was like, "Okay, I did my hill work."
Yeah, I think there's 350 feet of elevation in Iroquois Park.
Yeah, it's I mean, it is it is pretty though, so I'll give it that.
I do agree with that. The views make it so much easier to traverse because it's not just something ugly. It's beautiful green, greenery. So you're going in, you go through. There's a couple of porta potties in there, I believe. I believe there's two sets of porta potties. You come out, and now you're running back down Southwest Parkway, and you're running back towards Churchill Downs. Um, what do you from from there until, because you did it this year, you run from there back to the ballpark. That's roughly miles. You hit 9, 14, 17. So I believe you're at 17. No, you're at 15 when you leave Iroquois Park. So from 15 to 23 or 22, that takes you back to the ballpark where we had started the Slugger Field, the Against the Grain Brewery.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, you run right past the finish line.
that's the part that I'm remembering that I don't like, 'cause it's like you're right there, but you're not,
Yeah. Now,
so
but between
ugh.
Iroquois and there, is there anything significant, anything that you really remember?
I remember going by the university, and I think we went by the art gallery,
Hmm.
and, and I will say they do a good job with, the supporters and people cheering along the way and with the water stops. They do a really good job with that, and I remember they had, like, people giving out oranges and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, they do have oranges, and sometimes you have pretzels.
Yes, but especially because I mean, Louisville can be warm, so, you know, they do a good job with the water and everything.
Okay. Now, okay, so we're coming in. We go past the Speed Art Museum, and you run by the campus, and you run past you run past the finish line. I will say that one thing I remember, because I think it's so weird, but it's so awesome. You run past the Louisville Water Company, and the Louisville Water Company is at the expo, and they're also on course. It's not an official station. It's not an
Yes,
official. They're just so Louisville loves their water so much.
yes. No, that was cool, and I wanna say I think it was in Louisville that they had all the truck drivers that were honking. I think it was Louisville. Do you remember that or no?
Yes, you can. You because 64 runs alongside, and you can see them, and they can see the truckers can see you, and yeah, they do. You know, to give you the toot toot salutes, the meow, meow, you know.
Yeah, that's always cool.
Yes. So okay, so you bypass the ballpark, and then you have you have an out and back. But the Outback is shorter this it was shorter in 2025 than it had been in previous years. Is there anything there that's really remarkable, or is it just
Man, it's it's tough because 'cause you're tired then, and you already went past the finish line. I'd say the good thing about it is that you kinda the out and back, so you can kinda cheer for people and everyone kinda tries to encourage each other. But, people got that the ugly runner face going a lot of times. So it's like, "All right, come on, we gotta do this," you know?
okay? So yeah, and that yeah, that's the issue with the out and back. Is sometimes the course has to happen where it has to happen. Now, to my knowledge, you're trying to move back to the Highlands, which would mean as you're coming down from Iroquois Park, you would get to mile 19.8 and you would make a right hand turn on Jefferson, which means nothing to most people.
Right.
And you would go into the Highlands, which involves one hill going up to the Highlands, as the name would imply, and then you run several miles up there. But that's the course that was ran pre-COVID. So pre-COVID, from about 2013, 2012 until 2019, they ran the Highlands. And then after 2019, with COVID, they switched over to Indiana, and then that's kind of
Hmm.
you're getting a lot of inside baseball on this one, just because I know the course changes over the years. So I could tell you this race in Monumental, I could tell you which block they switched out and why they switched out that block.
Wow. So now
So
if they switch back to the Highland, would you prefer that or no?
yes, I would highly prefer that because that course involves no out and back. No offense, but every out and back is dumb. They're stupid. I hate out and backs. If it's
I do
500
too.
yards, I don't. Ugh.
I do too.
So that course, the only bad thing about that is when you hit mile 20, there is a literal hill that I call the wall, and you're at mile 20 already, and then you have to do probably 50 feet of elevation to get into the Highlands. And then but once you're in the Highlands, it's flat up there as well. It's just a raised area. In that area of the Highlands, it's Bardstown and Baxter Avenue area, which is very similar to St. James area in the fact that there's a lot of unique houses. There's a lot of the yards, the shrubbery. There's a few I don't know how to classify, but really small parks that are only a quarter acre. But there's things to look at. There's a lot more street art, and it helps pass the miles when there's more visual aid.
Oh, yeah. I do like because I do like when we went across that bridge, the
And
walking. in over to Indiana.
The Big Four Bridge. I
That's it.
enjoy I enjoy going to across the Big Four Bridge. The only thing is that there's no there it's full exposure. There's no
Yes.
shade from the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
But
mean, it's kind of a cool experience, you know.
yeah, the 5K. Ooh, we did not mention. I don't think. Did you know there's a 5K for this race?
When?
Friday.
Since
Friday
when?
2025 was the first year they had it. Yes.
Oh, that's right. Because I missed 2025 because of my friend's 50th. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you
We
do the
just
five? You did
I
it?
did I did not do the 5K. Because I knew other pacers were coming in town, and
Oh,
I was like, well, I'd rather not. 5Ks are fun, and all marathoners are a sucker for a gimmick. And if you put like a challenge on something,
yeah,
by God, we would have signed up for it. But um, I had I knew certain pacers were coming in town, and I unless they were running the 5K as well, I just didn't care to run the 5K. I'd rather hang out with pacers or racers for that matter, and get to just get to know other people rather than run the 5K, that particular 5K. Had it not been somewhere where I knew as many people, or if I knew, say you, because Jill and Dan, they went to Eugene this year. So if you were there and Jill and Dan were there and Brandon was there and you always run the 5K, I'd do the 5K.
I
But
gotcha.
since yeah, that's all that was.
Well, one year, I don't know which year, but I proposed that we all do the double.
I'm
You know
sorry,
what I'm
you broke up. I I did
You
not hear
heard
what you
me.
said.
You heard me. One year, I want to do it. I don't know when, but I'm just putting it out there.
Well, there is the back. Oh gosh, this is a long tangent. Uh, there
You
is
know
the
what's double, right? That I'm talking about?
for Derby.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
everybody told me there's a marathon on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's called the backside.
Yeah, that's what I want to do the double. I want to do both. One year. Putting it out there.
Okay. Well,
I'm not, yeah.
I know exactly where the backside is. I've ran the backside before.
The full?
Half.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you can do the full. Hey, I'll have my car warmed up, ready to go.
The
Me,
double.
you, Jan Deal, Jan Deal.
Listen, got to earn that hot brown.
Yes, which we'll get to that later on. It's a dish. Uh, okay, so we're going through. We finished the race. This year, the race ended at the old finish line, um, which is a downhill finish, which is wonderful to have a downhill finish.
Ooh,
It's only one block, and it's not extreme. It's like 2% grade. It's nothing extreme, but when you ran 24.0 or 26.0, that last point two being downhill just makes you feel so much better.
nice.
So you're coming in, you finish the race. How was the finish line area?
They do a good job with the finish line. I mean, I like everybody's lined up cheering, and it's and it's nice when people are, especially when you're pacing people and they're all like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did it." So it's just kind of a surreal experience.
Yes. Okay. And then how was the medal? You have several of them. How was the medal? Was it which do you recall offhand which medal do you have?
I know the one with the rose because it was some anniversary.
I think the
Do you remember?
150.
Yeah, I think that's the one I remember. I know I think I've ran it 3 times. I don't remember the other ones. But I like the rose. That one's a cool one.
I like the rose. Yeah, they had some beautiful medals, I feel. Um, so after you hitchhike a ride,
No, you hitchhiked the ride, but
yes, that is true.
we appreciate.
So we went to afterwards. We always meet at the. I always host a unofficial pacer meetup post race and racer meetup. I don't care. If you can find me, you're cool. Uh, we
I
meet up
invite
at
all the people that we run with.
yes.
Most of them
Uh,
don't show up, but hey,
they never. They I always say that you're going to forget my name. You're never going to remember me again.
I hope they do because I'm like, damn, I'm working hard for them.
After you finish the race, we went to Bluegrass Brewing Company. Um, what that's near the start finish line, but it's not against the grain, but it's a different brewery. How do you how did you well, I guess you celebrated by going there. What did you eat and what's your memory of that?
Whoa. All right. I remember having the hot brown, and I was wrecked after the hot brown because it is just like a heart attack on a plate, but delicious. I got to remember, I think it's sourdough bread, cheese sauce. Is it turkey, ham, maybe? I don't know. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's delicious. And come out on this huge plate. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to eat all that. Oh, I scarfed it down and then I was stuffed. And I remember you said, "Oh no, we got to have derby pie." And you got derby pie for everybody. I was like, "Oh." So, all right, we had derby pie. That was great. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I like that being a unofficial meetup.
I think the year you were there last, so 24, I think that year I ended up buying like a whole pie's worth of Derby pies. I
I
think I think we
Yeah,
had like 15 people there.
it was a big crowd, and it's always nice too when other people kind of run in and join us. And since you always shout out everybody who has their medal on, so you know,
Yes, that's a I congratulate everybody. If
we know.
now later now that particular race, Derby marathon, there that night,
Um,
the party keeps going.
yes,
The party keeps going.
it always does.
So we went so afterwards we went to Churchill Downs.
Yes,
Yes. So Churchill Downs, that we ran through there earlier, but we ran the infield. We didn't specify, but there's a dirt track and then a turf track, and then there's an infield which is paved. So you're on pavement the whole time. Don't worry, you're not on dirt. They won't let you. They don't trust you because I mean the horses run that thing and they don't trust runners. Because I don't know, they just don't. But that
yeah.
night is the season opener for Churchill Downs for the year. What is that experience like?
You know, it was a lot of fun. Because we got, I'm trying, Sarah, and I want to say her husband's name is Colin,
Oh no, no, not Colin. It's Gavin. So Gavin gave us the tour of that.
which
That
was
was a good experience.
awesome. But then
Yes.
it was great too, the other year when we went to the ballpark and saw a game and we met all the mascots and the Star Wars people and we got
Yes.
pictures and we got lightsabers.
And Jill had costumes for I think her well no, they just had the t-shirts on. and I think she had a slight costume. For those that remember, well, we spoke of it during the Eugene Marathon episode. Jill always wears something, no matter how small, that is going to be in costume. So even if it's a nice hat, it's going to be something. It's going to be a costume. Okay, so we went through the race. We've registered. We've shuttled to the expo. We've walked to the walked to the start line, hitchhiked from the finish line. Um, we've went to the Bluegrass Brewing Company, which is at Third and Main. We went to Churchill Downs, which is it's a the whole weird nightlife thing going on. A fun time, a really fun time. And then, or you went to the ballpark uh, to watch the AAA ball game. They're the AAA affiliate of the Cincinnati Pirates. No, Cincinnati Reds. Sorry, the Louisville Bats are the AAA affiliate of the Reds. Um, and then you that's the race.
That's the race.
That's the race. Um, so you've done this race 3 times, correct?
Yeah.
All right, and then do you plan on coming back for another?
Yes. I definitely I just had my Achilles done. So I'm hoping to be back for April. I'm crossing my fingers. It's only been a few weeks, so
Oh, I trust that you'll be back. I mean, if Dallas doesn't make a spot for you in the half, if you can't do the full, you can do the half.
I'm
If
not doing the half. I'm doing the full. Stop playing. Stop. I'm doing the full. I'll be slow. I'll be the sweeper, whatever. We'll see. I
Hey,
just
I swept last year.
did you have fun?
Yes, it was a great time. It was a great time.
See, but I feel like the back of the pack, they need that motivation.
Yes, they do, and I'm there for it.
No, but that's awesome because you got that energy. So
Okay, well, okay, so I have a few as if we weren't off topic enough. I have a few questions that are also off topic.
all right, go on.
So, what shoes do you run in?
Brooks are my go-to. Brooks Adrenaline.
Really?
There's yeah, they're the support. I flip, you know what? I will I'll kind of flip-flop here and there, but my go-to for support, Brooks Adrenaline. If I'm racing, if I'm really racing, I like the Nike, what is it, Vaporfly.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Does it? Yeah, my camera won't show it. So it turns out that I
oh,
also
yeah.
run in Brooks Adrenaline.
See, great minds, great minds.
Now I do have the GTS, which is it has to do with motion control because my feet angle inward. So I run in those. I run in A6 something wide. I run in Hoka Gaviota V. I think I'm up in the V5s now. The other question I always ask is, what watch do you use?
Ah, well, you might remember I had the old Garmin, the one that looked like a damn TV on the wrist. And then I upgraded because remember we met Karen.
We met her at Seven Bridges.
Yes, and she was making fun of me and she was so horrified. She said, "Your watch needs to be in the Smithsonian." And so I think I got the Garmin. I want to say it's, oh, what number is it? I want to say it's kind of the same number as yours, except maybe a model down.
You had the 960 or 955.
I think it's like 935,
Okay.
I want to
Because
say.
I currently have the 965 on my wrist. And then I have the Phoenix 6X that is no longer being used. And
Why?
well, I upgraded because I wanted a better map. So the Garmin 6X has 64 colors, and the Garmin 965 has like 5,600 colors. So with your day-to-day use, if you have your day-to-day use, it's different. And then also when you're using maps, which when I travel, I still try to get in the 5K, and sometimes I have to pull it, or I still get in a run, whatever that distance is. And sometimes I have to utilize the maps to do that. And it's just nicer to have a better map. And then also day to day use, it's I like the look of it. But here goes and but that's exactly what brings me to these two questions, is that well, you and I actually run into a similar shoe, the Brooks Adrenaline, but you don't run any faster because of the shoes you wear. I don't run any faster because of the watch I have. I have a higher number watch than you have, but it doesn't make me faster. And in our Heartland series episode, Brandon, he uses his phone for his timer. He doesn't use a watch. He doesn't have a watch. He just uses his phone. And he's faster than I am. So,
You know, I like that because I used to not have a watch for a long time.
yeah,
So,
and it
you
doesn't
know,
make you any, not having a watch or having a watch inherently doesn't make you any faster or slower.
no, I
Or,
mean, I feel like it makes you listen to your body more if you don't have a watch.
yeah, and whatever, and I know a lot of people have come to me as I'm in the pacer booth and ask, what shoes do I run in? I run in the shoes that fit my feet. You run in Nikes when you're wanting to go fast. I ran 3 miles in Nikes out of like 4 or 5,000 miles. I've only ran 3 miles in Nikes, and I never want to touch them again. As far as for running,
Yeah, it's different. I feel like it's different for everybody, but the vapor flies, because they're so lightweight, they're not as supportive.
and I'm coming
Mm.
in. Well, I have motion control issues with my ankles, even when I was down at 220 pounds, and now I'm up at 280 pounds. I need supportive shoes. I need more cushion shoes. But you are nowhere close to 280. So the shoes that you need are for you, and the shoes that I need are for me. And for those that are listening still, whatever shoes you need, go to your local running store, or go to Fleet Feet. They're not bad. They're great people. I just support the local guy and find out what shoes fit you.
And I would say, I mean, I orthotics are a big help for me.
Okay.
So I don't, do you do orthotics or no?
Maybe I should. It's
Listen, well, because I was having a lot of foot problems and the plantar fasciitis, and I
mhm.
went and saw the foot doctor, and they're like, "Oh, you need orthotics."
Yeah.
So
So so yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is that you have to find out what's right for you.
yeah, it's just a little extra support, you know?
Yeah. Is there anything before we sign off, or as we enter this phase, is there anything you'd like to add? Anything? It could be related to this race or running in general.
I would say running in general, now that it is a special community and you meet a lot of people, and it's nice to go to races where you kind of meet, like our Louisville is kind of like a reunion for us with Dallas. So it's a nice community. So it's a cool thing to be part of.
I really feel that it is. And if you see us out there, I can't speak for every single person in the world because I'm not. But come say, if you see a group of people just having a fun time, and you kind of want to venture over, and they got a bunch of medals on your neck, you got a medal on your neck. you're already halfway into the club. Just come over,
Exactly.
say hi, and who knows? You might make a new best friend.
It's a really cool community it definitely is. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I miss it. I'm like, I miss it. I gotta say, I miss the routine, and I miss my running peeps that I see every morning.
Well, give it a few more weeks, and you'll be at least at the short distance.
Listen, I just need a little something, you know?
Okay. Well, uh, Yvonne, we really appreciate you having to come onto the pod. I really appreciate you being here. I would like to remind everybody to like and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm. It helps other runners become familiar with this podcast and learn of other races across the country. Also, feel free to share this podcast yourself with one of your training partners, a running group, friend, family member. It maybe a little subtle hint to a race you might want to do. Take your partner on a vacation somewhere and enjoy a new town, a new area of the country. Let everybody know. Uh, Run the race that you are in, and forward is a pace. Thank you.